My late mother, Edna, developed dementia back in 2004, which is almost 20 years ago now, just after my father died, only we didn't really recognise it at the time. And this is one of the difficulties, I think, with dementia, that I just thought that my mum was still grieving for my father, to whom she'd been married to for 65 years, I think. She became agoraphobic, she became argumentative, she became at times very aggressive, and I would have long arguments with her, not realising that she was in the early stages of dementia. And it wasn't for several months before I got a diagnosis and realised what was happening. And at that point, I have to tell you, it was, as it is for most people, a very sharp learning curve, because I knew diddly about dementia. And so I really, really do empathise and sympathise with families who suddenly find they have a diagnosis of dementia. So to help dispel some of the many myths around dementia, and indeed to offer support to those who are caring for a loved one who's living with the condition, Care UK has pulled together advice and expertise from colleagues, including dementia specialists, and most importantly, from families, because they're the experts. And they can then collectively produce a new dementia video guide. It's called One Step at a Time.
We've developed this dementia guide specifically to help to support carers and people living with dementia, not only in a care home, but also in their own homes. And in this way, we can enable people to understand a little bit more about how they can look after themselves, but how they can also support their relative when they come into care. The dementia guide covers early diagnosis, so how to manage early diagnosis, living with dementia, living really well with dementia, and supporting the carer, the person who's actually out there supporting that person, perhaps one-to-one or as a family member supporting their relative.
Well, I hope if you get an opportunity to watch the new Care UK guide, what you will learn from it is perhaps a bit more about the disease that is dementia that you didn't already know, a lot more about what is likely to happen to your loved one as the illness progresses, and the way in which you can ensure that you maintain their dignity, that they continue to know that they are loved and cared for, and that they are still a valued member of your community and your family. That is so important. But equally as important, that you look after yourself, and that you know that as a carer, we want you to feel that you are not stressed, that you're not alone, that you're not isolated, that you can continue to look after your loved one. So I hope you will learn a great deal from the film, and that it will make your passage through this journey of dementia a lot easier to bear, not just for your loved one, but for you as well.